In this interpretation, Ricky introduces himself and thanks the interpreter for coming and mentions that he's gonna sit down with an agent in order to discuss buying a new home. The agent, excuse me, named Marissa, asks why he'd like to move now, and Ricky responds by saying he'd like to move to Frederick in order to be closer to a deaf school for his children. She asks him where he lives now, in which he responds he lives in Selbyville, which is a 3-hour difference between Frederick and Selbyville. Excuse me. Marissa asks when he'd like to move, and Ricky says that he'd like to move as soon as he can. He is going to wait until his house sells and then as soon as possible move into the new home. Marissa asks if he has a lender yet for the house, and Ricky says he doesn't have one yet, to which she responds that she has a list of lenders that he can pick and choose from. Marissa asks if Ricky has seen the neighborhood that he'd like to live in or if he's checked out houses available in Frederick, and he says that he's looked in a few neighborhoods but mentions that he doesn't want to pay a homeowners association. Marissa responds in asking what his dream home would be, if he has any specific features that would be a deal breaker. And Ricky describes his dream house as having 2 levels plus a basement, a wraparound porch. He would like a big yard up to about an acre of land, and he'd like to be in a more rural area. Excuse me. Marissa asks Ricky if he has any children, and Ricky responds that he has a 16-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, both of which are deaf. Marissa tells Ricky that she has informational papers that she can print out for him and asks if he has a specific way that he'd prefer to be contacted. She asks if she could call him or email him, and he responds that he has 3 different modes of communication that it doesn't matter which one she chose. He could give her his cell number so that she could text him. He has VPs so that she could call him through VRS, and he can give her his email address. And he said he doesn't prefer either one. It doesn't matter which one she chooses. And Marissa responds that she's confused. She doesn't know what VRS is. And so Ricky explains that VRS is a video relay service between deaf and hearing people, to which they would utilize an interpreter through a video call.